Brucellosis. The principle of the test is an immunological reaction, which is agglutination between the antibodies produced to the viable bacteria, or what we call agglutinins, and the corresponding bacterial antigen. So the principle of this test is agglutination reaction. Materials needed. First, we will have our controls. So what is the function of this control? The control is to test or to check if our reagent is properly working or not. This is a febrile antigen control. It is a control for Brucella and Salmonella. So we have positive and negative control. If we will open the box, we can see the inserts of these controls. And also there is the controls, the positive and the negative control. This is the negative control and this is the positive control. The positive control contains known antibodies against the Brucella, while our negative control has no antibodies against the Brucella. The positive control contains standardized goat anti-serum with polyspecific antibodies having specific reactivity towards Brucella abortus and Brucella melitensis antigens. In simple words, positive control contains antibodies against Brucella abortus and Brucella melitensis antigens, while the negative control doesn't have these antibodies. Now let's take a look in the insert. This insert here is not in English language. Let's look on the procedure. So this is the qualitative test determination. It says here that we will put 1 drop of positive control, 1 drop of negative control to the slide, and we will put 1 drop of the according reagents. Next, we move on to the test reagents. We have on the left side Brucella melitensis and on the right side we have Brucella abortus. These are stained Brucella suspensions which now contains our antigen. Then we have the disposable reaction card. And also we have the applicator sticks and timer. So now let us start the procedure. Reagent, storage, and stability. So number 1, we have stored the reagent at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Do not freeze, because freezing the reagent will cause deterioration of the reagent, and we are not allowed to use the reagent if it's not functioning well. Number 2, the shelf life of the reagent is as per the expiry date mentioned on the reagent bottle label. Do not use beyond expiry. So even if you open the vial, still the expiration date for this reagent is the one that is mentioned on the bottle, provided that you do not contaminate the reagent. Be mindful of this one because we don't want to make any error, and also all the things that we are doing, make sure that you keep in mind that the life of the patient is on us. Now let's start the test. Procedure: bring all the reagents to room temperature. Shake and mix the reagents well before dispensing it. Now we will start the test. First thing, always remember that we need to check if the reagent is working well. So how do we check if the reagent is working well? We will use our controls, our positive and negative control. So we will label the slide, disposable slide agglutination card with Brucella, positive up and negative down. So positive means the positive control and negative means the negative control. We will put 1 drop on each of the circles. So we will start from the negative control. Because we only have melitensis and abortus, we will put 1 drop on number 6 and 1 drop on number 7. Now let's put the positive control to number 1 circle and number 2 circle. Don't forget to label letter A for abortus and M for melitensis. Now, let us get the test reagents. So, we have here Brucella abortus. We will put 1 drop of Brucella abortus on the circle number 1 and number 6. Number 1 with the positive control and number 6 with the negative control. Let's get the other reagent, which is the Brucella melitensis. Let's put 1 drop of the working reagent on number 2 and number 7. Let's shake it first for it to mix well. Then add 1 drop to number 2, which contains the positive control, and number 7, which contains the negative control. Next is to get the applicator stick and mix the sample or spread it around the circle. Just spread it around the circle. Use 1 stick per 1 circle. Do not reuse the stick. Make sure to spread the mixture well. Mix. Then now get the slide agglutination card. Then we have to mix it or rotate it for 1 minute. Get the timer for 1 minute, then press start. Then we just have to rotate the slide card. So we will rotate it in the infinity or following the infinity shape like this. We will rotate it for exactly 1 minute and we will read the result at exactly 1 minute. Minute is done, so we will interpret the result now. As you can see, there is a visible agglutination in circle number 1 and 2. Circle number 1 and 2 contains our positive control. Our positive control contains antibodies against Brucella, abortus, and melitensis. So we are expecting that there will be agglutination in our positive control. Our negative control doesn't have a visible agglutination, meaning our reagent is working well and ready for use. To see the agglutination microscopically, I get a slide and I will put the positive and the negative control. View it under the microscope. So you can see this encircled thing here is the agglutination reaction. So you can see all throughout the slide the reaction. Now let's go to the negative control. For the negative control, there is no agglutination. You cannot see any agglutination in the negative control. Now that the control is good and the reagent is working well, we can now run the patient serum. First, we have to label the card, Brucella melitensis and Brucella abortus. Get an automatic pipette and set the volume to 40 microliters. Put 40 microliters of our serum into circle number 1 and circle number 6. Then, after that, set the volume of the automatic pipette into 20 microliters. Then, put 20 microliters of serum into circle number 2, and circle number 7. After which, set the volume of the automatic pipette into 10 microliters and put 10 microliters of serum into circle number 3 and circle number 8. After putting it, set the volume of the automatic pipette into 5 microliters and put 5 microliters of serum into circle number 4 and circle number 9. Next is to get the reagent, which is Brucella melitensis and Brucella abortus, and shake it well first before using it. Add 1 drop of Brucella abortus into circle number 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then add Brucella melitensis reagent into circles 1, 2, 3, and 4. After adding, mix the circles. Make sure to use 1 stick per circle. Do not reuse the sticks. We will label it with the dilution. So for the first circles, we have 1:40, second 1:80, third 1:160, and fourth 1:320. This is the serial dilution. Then we will rotate this disposable agglutination card for 1 minute. Let's check the disposable agglutination card. So as we can see, there's visible agglutination to all of the circles of the card, meaning that the patient's serum is reactive for Brucella melitensis and Brucella abortus. To double check or to make sure that there is agglutination in the circle number 4, we will view it under the microscope. Just get a drop of number 4 and transfer it to a slide, then view it under the microscope. We can see now under the microscope that there is a agglutination reaction, meaning that the circle number 4 is reactive for Brucella melitensis. So the dilution will be 1:320 for both Brucella melitensis and Brucella abortus. For the result, we have the dilution of more than 1:320 for both Brucella melitensis and Brucella abortus. For the interpretation of result, we have negative result to 1:40 titer may be seen in healthy individuals, and a titer of 1:80 or greater is considered as clinically significant. So the result of the patient is clinically significant. Disclaimer, you can continue with the serial dilution to check the titer. That's all for this vlog. I hope you learned something, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more upcoming videos.